Hey Dragon Slayers. Today's video is about carbohydrates and carbohydrate measurements. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel out. Let's get started. So the simplest way to understand carbohydrates is that they are a measurement of the sugar, starch, and cellulose in a food. Carbohydrates come in two forms, simple and complex. Simple carbohydrates will spike your blood sugar quickly and possibly even raise your blood sugar well beyond levels that your body can effectively handle. When your body can't process a sudden surge of glucose coming in from your food, it will find other places to store that sugar. The first two places it stores sugar are in your liver and your fat cells. If you are like many people who have been eating a Western diet for decades, your body has most likely stored a lot of glucose in your liver and fat. If this overwhelms you, the good news is that fasting allows you to go after all of that stored sugar. The key when it comes to your current diet is to make sure that when you eat carbohydrates, you are eating fewer simple carbohydrates and more complex ones. Since complex carbohydrates have more fiber in them than simple carbohydrates, they cause less of a rise in your blood sugar, allowing your cells to slowly take the sugar in, leaving less for storage in your liver and fat. The easiest way to know if a carbohydrate is simple or complex is to ask yourself, was this food made by man or by nature? Nature made food is complex, having more fiber, which slows the absorption of sugars into your bloodstream. Nature made carbohydrates also meet the requirements laid out in principle number one, supporting your muscles, hormones, and microbiome. When timed properly with your cycle, nature made carbohydrates are a wonderful tool to help you thrive with your health. Simple carbohydrates, on the other hand, will lead you down a path towards obesity, poor immune function, and estrogen dominance. These foods are fairly easy to spot. The majority of them have a long shelf life and take up center aisles of your grocery store. This is because most simple carbohydrates are laden with sugar and preservatives so that they can last longer on your pantry shelf. Unfortunately, they have no nutritional value and do nothing to support your health at all. The foods that fall into this category are cookies, crackers, cereals, chips, breads, and pastas, and the majority of processed foods in general. Simple carbs are void of fiber and will raise your blood sugar easily. With a quick spike of blood sugar comes a massive release of insulin. With the sudden rise in glucose and insulin, your body will find creative places to store the excess. The more times you do this in a day, the more your body will store the extra glucose and insulin as fat. When you look at yourself in the mirror and villainize the extra weight you see, Dr. Mindy encourages you to remember that all that extra fat you see was your body's way of saving your life. It had a choice to store it in the organs or as fat, and it chose fat, a much better choice that has no doubt extended your life. So, carbohydrate measurements. As you move into understanding how to measure those macros, it's important to know that fasting like a girl requires you to measure net carbohydrates, not total carbohydrates. Net carbs are the total carbohydrate load of a food minus the fiber. The fiber in foods is helpful because it slows the absorption of sugars into your bloodstream. A carbohydrate without fiber, much like we find in simple carbohydrates, raises your blood sugar quickly. When a carbohydrate has fiber in it, The glucose spike is much more gradual, giving your body time to proper assimilate that sugar into your cells. This is a large reason why Dr. Mindy recommends you swap out man made carbohydrates for nature's carbohydrates. Nature knew what it was doing when it created carbohydrates. When you start to understand how your body was designed, you will see that we are quite compatible with nature. Complex carbohydrates made with nature's wisdom will quickly be your go to carbs from now on. That's what I've got for you guys today. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel out. And remember, guys, that together, you and I will slay the dreaded diabetes dragon.